Sinatra shot you, goddamn you. Is this what you want?
Logic.
時は動き出す。
Alright, so I just wanted to in an unscripted manner, just from the heart, wanted to talk about Persona 5 Royal without any spoilers, right? I just wanted to give my thoughts. That's what normally talk about it. Okay, so some of you might wonder, wonder what is the difference between Persona 5 Royal and then Persona 5. I explained this a bunch of times on the channel, but like a short recap, and Royal is like an enhanced version of Persona 5. It's like the same game, but it adds new content to it, like story-wise and gameplay-wise, right? They add some better, like, you get what I mean? And for Persona 5 Royal's case, you got new characters, an entirely new arc, like, yeah, an entirely new arc, like a new final boss, new endings, like all that type of good shit. Like, the Persona series has been doing this since, say, Persona 3. With 3 they got Fez, 4 they got Golden, 5 inevitably they got Royal. I mean, it's like, yeah, this re-release was inevitable because of how popular Persona 5 became. But yeah, as a person like myself who loved the original Persona 5, right? I thought it was a great experience. Now, obviously, I would get excited for a game that has a lot of potential as a re-release, and just normally as a game that could be better. Like, obviously, I'll be excited for that too. I'm looking forward to try out that game. So now it finally came out at 31st March. And also, since the Persona community is horrible at hiding spoilers, like, they're not good at that. Like, Persona 3 is a perfect example of that, right? Regardless, like, you know, from the Japanese release to here, just trying to avoid all the spoilers and hearing all the fucking slander on Royal, saying that it's not worth it. Now that I finally had the chance to play it, I am a month late on this video. Like, fuck. I mean, I know I've been lazy. I beat the game 2 weeks ago, something like that. Yeah, like a week or two ago, or like, I don't even know. The time just flew. Like, this felt like a long ass month as well. So just, you know, I took my time playing it and just absorbing the experience. I was finally done with it. And also, I was playing Final Fantasy VII Remake shortly after that. I just wanted to get clear those two till I actually get to this work with this channel, right? So, Final Fantasy VII Remake, I won't get too much on. I don't think I'll make like a spoiler-free video on that, like with Persona 5 Royal, because most of the words I had to say about 7 Remake is just like the same. Like, a majority of people have said the same freaking thing, and I just don't want to say it again. I'm not exactly a big YouTuber on that, so I just don't feel like it's worth spending my energy on. Probably a spoiler video somewhere in the future, I guess, but yeah. So, what did I think of it? Right, that's the whole thing. And just one thing I gotta say, I enjoyed this game way more than I expected. Like, not way more, like a bit more than or like a decent amount. Because I didn't really expect myself to enjoy, like the first 2 semesters. I was mostly like, okay, I'll just go through the first 2 semesters. I'll have a good time, but I don't think I'll enjoy myself as much as I did on my first playthrough with Vanilla Persona 5. But I actually did. And I did more of that. And that's something, because the experience I had with Vanilla Persona 5 was something else. It was just, yeah, it was something truly special, and I didn't think a re-release like this would do that. I mean, I felt like, yeah, even with the third semester, I didn't feel like this re-release would give me the type of experience I got from playing Persona 5 the first time, but it actually did that. It did exactly that, and it did it better. And in my opinion, like honestly, like I came out of Persona 5 Royal feeling more satisfied than how I did with Persona 5, because Royal, I feel like they handled the characters better. Like Persona 5 had its fair share of problems, right? I loved it, but yeah, it has its fair share of story problems. The arc and one of the arcs being worst gameplay and story wise. Royal is the same. That's one of the disappointing. That's the disappointing aspect. It's like they didn't do anything to change that. But everything else, besides like the additions of the in the first palace boss, right? Besides that, everything else, all the additions they made was just solid. It was really good. I really liked it. Just like story wise, I feel like the Royal elevated it. The new characters were really good. Kasumi, I thought like what they did with her character was really cool. It was an interesting twist to it. Maruki was unexpectedly a great character. Akechi's a mental confidant or a mental social link this time, whereas in Royal Persona 5 he wasn't. And bro, Akechi, I really loved what they did with Akechi's character. He's not a victim of like trash writing. Like he's not a disaster in terms of writing anymore. He's actually a pretty good character, and I loved what they did with it. Right? Like Royal was basically like playing Royal is like they should have done this with Vanilla Persona 5, to be honest. Like Vanilla Persona 5 would have banged if all of this was there before, to be straight with you. But yeah, nevertheless, like I really liked it, and the third semester was I think that arc is like the best arc. It was straight up excellent. It was a really good arc. It was refreshing to go through. And just everything they added there was really neat, and yeah, it was a really well done arc. The palace rule was a bit more complex. The new palace was really good. It was intriguing. The new music was amazing. The new music tracks are great. I feel like they made Mementos better in this game. Just like Mementos is basically like the side type thing, right? Which it will be important to the story later. It's the general public's cognition, like the physical manifestation of their cognition, and you had to go through it. I feel like I liked Mementos in Vanilla 5. A lot of people hated it. I didn't really understand why. I mean, I do get why they would get tired of the Mementos track, but in Royal, in Vanilla 5 I thought it was cool. In Royal, they made it better. I like what they add. The changes they added to spice up exploration, and they gave me more of a motivation to retread already explored areas, like collect shit for Jose. Jose is also a cool character. Where you get the points, and you get the stamps, and you can use that for to your advantage. Like you can either trade items, or you can use it to increase your bonuses, like money, items, or EXP, which is pretty cool. And also, like, they put in new music tracks for Mementos here and there. Like the aesthetic changes are cool. And obviously, there's a new layer of Mementos in the third semester. It appears at the third semester. That was really cool, right? Just like I really like what they did with all the changes. Story-wise, I feel like all the changes were added earlier than I expected, and they were added really well. Like all the new story beats, which are added to the already existing parts of Persona 5 story, I thought they were added. They were added. Yeah, I felt like they were added pretty well, and they didn't feel taped in. Like they all felt natural going through. They all felt like they mixed in well, in my opinion. And also, they made they added some quality of life improvements to it, and thank God they did, because those were the improvements that I wanted from Vanilla Persona 5, and in this they added it. Oh, it's such a lifesaver, right? Also, the visual upgrades, I thought they capped on that, but they didn't. So there's that. and I really like what they had done with the gameplay. Like, the game has turn-based combat, right? So I'm not one to say, oh my god, they made turn-based combat fun just because they made it a little bit more flashy. I'm not that type of person. Turn-based combat has always been straight. It's the same. Nevertheless, I think it's a solid combat system, and yeah, it has style to it, which is pretty neat. I think Royal, what it does is just, yeah, it adds more options to already solid combat system. I feel like they made it better. And also the new gameplay additions that they are adding to it, to the combat system, I was worried because they sounded like broken ass changes in paper. Like, they sounded neat, but at the same time, it felt like they could be easily exploitable, right? But when I played through it, and also Showtime, which I'll get to later, I really liked it. What do I think? What am I exactly talking about? The Baton Pass ranks. Like, there are 3 ranks of Baton Passes. There's rank 1, which only increases the damage when you pass it on to another teammate. Rank 2, which increases both, say, which increases which ups the damage increase, and also recovers some HP to when you Baton Pass to a teammate. And there's rank 2. Rank 3 ups both damage and HP, and also recovers some SP. And obviously, when you go through the further tiers, those effects will increase until you get to the 4th one, where not only all the effects maxed out, you also have 0 skill cost. And I felt like they were well implemented. They didn't feel broken at all. And also Showtime. Showtime started to be this new flashy boost within two teammates. And when I first saw how much damage they did in the trailers, I was really worried. But with how they implemented it, it was a cool change, and it just wasn't broken. It does some good damage, but it's actually not broken. And sometimes, like Showtimes are not sometimes Showtimes are not the best option to go for. Like, if you go through Showtimes, you might regret it. It's that type of thing, and I'm glad it's that type of thing, right? It's not just like this brain dead option. You just press and everything will be fine. It's not. We're grateful for. And they added new daily activities to the student life aspect, where you do hang out with your friends, some high school type beat shit. There's all that with Persona games. Now we have 2 parts mixed in that, and just like that's a Persona playstyle, right? And I really loved it. I love it. And in Persona 5 Royal, it's better than the original Persona 5. There's also like the follow-up scenes with the confidants, which are really cool. It felt like you have more of a connection to them with them, and it's more dialogue. It's a good dialogue. So if we add on to that, the follow-up additions are pretty cool. The new confidants are great. And the new boss is better. Like the new boss, its 2nd and 3rd phase are underwhelming. They're disappointing, but yes, overall, I thought it was a solid fight. Just, man, what a game! Just like, what a game. Oh yeah, so this is basically post-recording me. I wanted to add in a few more thoughts to the video that I forgot to say when I was recording in my initial recording. Was that first, like the palaces got reworked, and I thought they were neat. They do feel a lot more minor after the Pyramid Palace, but overall they were cool. The revamped bosses are also, besides the first one, all the other ones I thought would also be pretty good, right? The final boss, nothing more about the final boss. The one thing I wanted to really cover was like the Thieves' Den, which was pretty cool. It had some really neat stuff, and also had interactions between characters who don't interact with the game at all. It was really cool to watch that. Too bad by the time I saw that, I wasn't recording. Right? I didn't have my setup on, I was just like casually going through the Thieves' Den. So yeah, my bad. Another one I wanted to talk about was the ending. One thing I thought the overall I prefer this ending over the middle version, like the true ending of Royal, because I feel like Royal's true ending wraps things up with the characters much better and gives a better resolution to them. And like yeah, there's one aspect which I thought was weird, that in the ending where you give your farewells to all of your all the characters, like all the confidants that you maxed out in the game. Kasumi was in there, and I thought that was kind of weird. Like yes, you do see, yeah, you do kind of say a farewell to her later, and it's not within the same section. But I wish it was there. I just thought it was kind of weird. But besides that, there's also what certain scene where everybody kept saying that, oh, it was a cliffhanger. I don't see it as a cliffhanger for a sequel. I think that's a weird perspective. That's just my opinion on it. But I just think that, oh, it's, I think it's more like, yeah, that happened. That's there. Type thing. You feel me? Now we have all those cool ass changes, and Morgana doesn't force you to go to sleep. It's a pretty fun game, and it truly is an enhanced edition, an enhanced version of Persona 5. I like, this like I will be uploading walkthroughs of the game, and like this channel had like a mini arc with Persona 5 Royal. I feel like after I finish uploading the entire walkthrough, that's when that's when the mini arc will end within this channel. But shit, I feel like the wait was worth it. The wait was just worth it for me, and also avoiding all the spoilers till the Western release was also worth it. It was a great experience. I'm glad I got to experience this game, and I'm glad it's done better to the point that Vanilla Persona 5 looks stale to me. It's a damn good game, and just I loved it. So in the end, the question is, should I buy it or not? I mean, if it's just your first experience with Persona 5, and if you want to buy it, then go for it. If it's your first JRPG that you want to try out, I think it's a solid. It's a solid first game. Like if you want to get into the JRPG or Persona series, I think it's a solid first game. Royal is definitely that. Royal Persona 5 is solid on its own, yes, but Royal I feel like it's much better. It's a clear upgrade to the point that I'd rather tell you to go for that rather than the vanilla version of Persona 5. Or if you already have vanilla Persona 5, right? You're not unless you're a hardcore fan of it, I would recommend you not to really get it. If you're curious enough and you have the vanilla Persona 5, then I'd rather you buy it when it gets a sale. So yeah, what did all of you think of Persona 5 Royal? Let me know. I just wanted to make this unscripted, from the heart type video as always about this game, and I'm glad I did. And I hope this video doesn't go to shit. So yeah, I'll see y'all later.